Hello, 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 hello everyone! What a glorious day it is today. Glad to see we've got Marcel back in the stream. Probably more will join anytime soon. So, let's launch our project as usual. Hello Marcel! Hello Florinel! Fun fact, me and Florinel met on Indie Club Live's games streams. Oh, my bad. Oh, and looks like I have to attempt something during the stream because I forgot to set the proper resolution. So everyone cross your fingers and everything. I have to rescale during stream. My gosh. So everyone, hope this works. Of course I will keep changes. There we go. Okay. And let's actually pop Blender up. So thank you very much for joining. This time I will be starting from now. I will be using Blender because a lot of people asked about it. So if everyone asks about it, then head to it. That's my policy right now. So, if we also look at the asset list, let's see. I have to bring it in this monitor. So, Marcel has a good question over on YouTube. How do you change the text color on a button when hovering? Marcel, my answer would be, do you put the text in like Unreal text, or is it in the texture like I put my text in the menu? So here we are with everything we have to do today, or as much as possible of what we have to do today. Okay. So, Florinel, glad you enjoy it, although you don't know what I'm doing here. The answer is simple. I have this asset listing for an isometric RPG, a very basic isometric RPG I'm building. And basically we'll just try to model everything out of it. So we'll start. We actually did the campfire. We did the campfire last time. Let's give it a nice green color. And let's just do some individual planks, because this way I also get in the Blender mood, and then we go to more complex objects. So Florinel, I'm glad you understand what I'm doing and about how I'm doing it. That's exactly why I'm live streaming and building level design courses, etc. So more and more people would actually start to understand how it's done. So of course I don't expect you to understand all the buttons I'm pressing and all the keyboard shortcuts and whatnot. However, at least the basic principles you can get from here, and from the course you could go into more detail. So what I'll be doing now is to use Blender, which I haven't used in like 5 years, so it's basically a different program. in order to start modeling some planks, which is a bit of a cheat because we already have the planks. If you remember, I modeled a few of them in Max, but we'll just export them from Blender. And for NGS Nick, who's also got a really good question, what kind of college I graduated and did it help me? Well, NGS Nick, that's the thing, my friend. Back in my day, Sonny, I could have gone only to cybernetics in Romania, which was at that time pretty weak. So that's why at 20 years old or something, I decided to drop out of university, college studies, whatever, and pursue a career in video game development directly. However, it was a whole different time, and I highly advise everyone who is younger than me and has the opportunity to actually go and study at a video game university or video game master's degree. For instance, I am a teacher right here in Zagreb at Algebra University on a 2-year master's program. So for graduates of universities, you can go into the master's program, and you'll learn mostly programming, but also round your skills in design, game design, art, everything. So you'll get a diploma that's, you know, recognized by any company, and also you'll qualify, in my opinion at least, as an intermediate level programmer already, which is better than a junior. Okay, so NGS Nick, yes, you don't have that type of colleges in Romania. However, the Academy of Economic Studies, ASE, now has a top-notch cybernetics track, and I'm pretty sure you will be able to get jiggy with it there. So cybernetics I would recommend, or even polytechnics, but from polytechnics I've seen mostly engine and game programmers. From cybernetics I did see more of level design technical directors coming out in the recent years. And of course you'll have to study a lot by yourself. So I'll just try to export a few plank instances. So instead of having this entire object, just to have a few planks here and there. We already have the pillars, so we can use them to prop scenes, etc. So let's go back to Blender. By the way, if anyone's wondering, my Blender interface looks like this because I've skinned it so it's somewhat similar to 3D Studio Max. I'm a complete noob in Blender. However, and this one goes out to Florinel especially, the principles carry over from program to program. So you don't have to necessarily be a god in Blender in order to use Blender. I hope I'll be able to prove this during today's stream. So let's quickly import what we already did. I already had them exported and whatnot. So let's see, where are we? My dream sources, Udemy LD course, sources. Yes, my hard drive management is a mess. Thank you very much for noticing that and for the compliment. And let's see, test Blender. I did some tests yesterday just to make sure we're good. I'm trying to locate the planks, all of them, so the entire plank group. Let's see what we have here. Viewport controls, I made it work as if it's 3D Studio Max, so we're good. So these are the planks I already have built. NGS Nick asks, what about Maya? I'm okay-ish with Maya as well, but I don't know it that good. And the problem with Maya and 3D Studio Max, as far as I can tell right now, is that one, most of my viewers can't afford the license. And secondly, truth be told, I could also go on Blender because it's a small time channel. I don't have a bazillion subscribers and so on to pay the bill, and it's just not worth it if it's the only thing I'm doing, and right now it's the only thing I'm doing. So 3ds Max and Maya, yes, if you're a big company or you already published 1 or 2 successful games, that's for sure. So here's a nice little shortcut in Blender. If I press Alt B, I change the backgrounds, and let's switch to this one because it looks a bit more humane and pretty. Now, this plank actually looks okay, and you know what? I'll just try to do this file, export FBX. I'll just try to get it as quick as possible in Unreal Engine to see how the scales look like, because we already have the other props in there and we can compare the scales and everything. So for now I'm gonna keep everything in a temporary folder. So let's call them I know I can make a folder from here. There we go. Let's call it stream objects, because they're objects made during the stream. And I just exported there something. Again, behold the magical powers of Unreal. The plank I just exported went into Unreal. Yes, I want to import it. Yes. Okay, so first of all, I'm getting this warning. No smoothing group information was found in this FBX scene. Do not worry about it. I'll explain immediately how to get rid of it. And it's actually a kind of fake-ish error, because it's... Oh, okay, so first of all, it exported all the planks, not just the plank I wanted it to export. That's good to know. Okay, let's see how they look like. How you look like, big boy? Okay, so if you can observe, 1, the pivots are completely wrong, and 2, the scale is also messed up. Remember from the past streams when I was modeling the houses, I was scaling, yeah, it is a big boy, that's a big boy. So what I'm doing here right now is just to get the scale right and to stop exporting everything. So let's delete this one. Let's delete everything from here. Bye-bye planks, bye-bye. Whenever you get an error when trying to delete stuff, an error, a warning message, don't worry about it. I only have references in the message, in the undo history, so basically to undo the import, so it's okay. I don't have any asset references in the map, and I don't have any memory references in the editor's memory. And I have very good news from Marcel. He managed to nail the menu, so he made it just right. Let's delete these ones, and if I could just explore, let me open a Explorer. There we go. It's on the My Dream. No, it's on the Builds, Isometric RPG. Now we're content digging. Static meshes, props. Okay, here it is. Stream objects. Okay, so everything got deleted from there. We're clean. We're clean as a whistle. Sorry. Let's put this one in another window. So I want to export only this object, and I guess I also want to scale it. So because I'm using 3ds Max-like controls, pressing R puts me into non-uniform scale mode, so I can do this to the big boy. And basically it's the same. Just like with any editing software, you scale it, you move it, it's nothing fancy. I think this would be good enough. Another thing I would do would be to translate, basically to move it, not like this though, but like this. And I would want to put it in 0. So this is exactly what I'm doing here. I've put the object into 0. My problem is the pivot, so the plank sits with its center in 0, but with its pivot not quite. Not quite. I won't look at it for now. I just want to check the scale. You know, we do things one step at a time. So right now I'll go again to File, Export, FBX, and Stream Objects again. Let's tune a bit the export presets. Can everyone see this? I'm checking if you all can. NGS Nick is asking a good question. If I can't set Blender's grid to match Unreal's. Yes, I have already done that. However, the objects I imported into Blender from 3D Studio Max were scaled already. But I'm writing this down right now to actually talk a bit about the scale, because it's actually a funny conversation about scale and Blender. So if there are any Blender fans here, let's look a bit at the scaling too. For now, I will just export with an operator preset I already made, and we'll get into that, just the selected objects. So let's export here, let's call it plank test 01, and let's hit either enter and it worked, or we could have clicked export objects. Let's go to Unreal. So change is detected because an FBX file showed up in the project structure. Yes, I want to import it. Yes, I want to import everything. Again, this error, we'll get rid of it in a second. This warning, sorry, warning. Stream objects, and now we have a single plank. It didn't export all the planks in my scene anymore. And if I put it in the world, you know what, let's put it on the lit side of the world so you can see it. Now it kind of looks like a plank. Okay, untextured, I'll give it that, but it kind of looks like a plank. So thickness, maybe I have to correct thickness a bit, because this one seems to be a bit slimmer than this one, right? Okay, let's make it a bit slimmer and fix that warning. So you know what? I will delete it again, force delete, and check this out. Now I have a memory reference, and let's talk about this window a bit. So when I try to delete a plank, the plank source file, which is placed in the scene, but if you notice the star here, the scene isn't saved. To complicate things even more, I have the reference in memory. I'll just press cancel for now, cancel, and I will save the map, save current, right? This saves the map, and now if I want to delete the source file, Unreal actually tells me I also have a reference at one asset reference. Sheesh. And it also tells me what assets are referencing my mesh. So now I can see the map is referencing this asset, but I hope it won't crash. It shouldn't crash. Behold the great powers of Unreal. I just force delete anyway. It disappears from the content browser, and it also disappeared from the world viewer. I rotate a bit, maybe select something else just to make sure we're not stuck on a garbage selection, and I hit save current, we're good. Let's again check the folder itself. So if you notice, in the folder I still have the FBX file in my game structure. I'll also delete this one, but by plank test. Exactly, or Control S to save. And actually, NGS Nick, there's also Control Shift S, which does a save of all opened assets in Unreal. That means materials you have open in the material editing window, anything. Okay, so we did say we want it to be a bit slimmer. There we go, like this. And we did also say we want to fix that warning message we get in Unreal. So for that, we have to generate UV coordinates. And how do we do that? Well, somewhere in properties, if we go, let's see, in texture, no. In material, no. So again, I'm also fresh with this one. UV maps, there we go. We've got UV channel 1, and this one I want to edit. If I double click it, okay, it worked. It just allows me to rename. We should see its UV somewhere. Oh, UV image editor. So basically what's happening with this plank is that other than the fact that it looks super pretty, it doesn't have any kind of texturing coordinates. So I'll just, I'll just go into edit mode. I'll select all the faces like so. I'll right click and I'll smart UV project. Let's see, angle limit 66. No, I want a lower angle limit. 45 degrees. I'll press OK, and look what happens in this box above. Ha! See? So now it looks pretty. It has good UVs and whatnot. I might be getting that warning because I did have actually the UVs, although they were all messed up. I might get that warning from another reason as well. So I'll just put it back into object mode. And instead of editing the UVs, I will also edit the smoothing groups. So I'll actually go back into edit mode, silly me. Again, I'm still fresh with Blender, so please bear with me, guys. And with all the faces selected, I should have it somewhere here in shading tab. So with all the faces selected in the shading tab, for now, for demonstration purposes, I'll just choose smooth on the faces. Boom. And look what happened with the object. If we go back into object mode. So technically, it should have gotten smoother, but it didn't. Okay. And that's because I don't have any smoothing group information on the object. So remember, Blender is a bit different than 3D Studio Max. It doesn't automatically host smoothing group information for each object. But this can also be solved. So I'll go into info, into properties, and in the object properties, transform, relations, extras, duplication, motion paths, custom properties, somewhere around here I should have some smoothing information. Or maybe in the modifier. So again, if anyone's more skilled with Blender than me, please write in the comments. It's not the smooth, because this will actually smooth the vertices inside the object. Maybe pip, well, let's see. Texture space, vertex groups. Okay, so there we go. We're currently on auto smooth. If I remove the auto smooth, look at how nasty the object looks like. Auto smooth. And in order to get smoother angles here, I would have to increase the angle in the auto smooth function. So I don't know, let's go to 100. We'll take it over 100. And of course, it didn't necessarily work. Let's remove auto smooth altogether. And here somewhere, I know I can add clear custom split normals data. There we go. So I add a new custom split normals data. I now go into edit mode, select everything. Shading on the faces should be smooth, edges smooth, vertices smooth. Okay, and hi Slavic Spy 47 or Doberdan. Okay, and we exit the object mode. We exit to the object mode. Oh yes, it looks much better now. Okay, back into object mode, back into edit mode with everything selected. Faces, flat, edges. You know what? I'll keep them on sharp as well. Vertices, sharp. Because it helps me with the low poly look. And because I think we're getting the proper results. Now, however, I do find it a bit too sharp. And you know what? Let's export this one and see how it looks like in the engine. So again, file, info, file, export, FBX. NGS Nick is asking me if my project will also include an inventory system. At this moment, no, because I'm building a very simple project just so people can learn level design. But after I release it, I can upgrade it anytime with inventory systems, whatnot, and that's actually the plan. Still getting the error though, and I'm a bit concerned we've got Grigory Rasputin in the stream. Okay, so now as you can see, the plank came in. Let's give it some material as well. So let's call it use solid, this one, which is all the generic material we use. Save, close. Okay, so now the plank came in and it looks already a trillion times better. However, it might look a bit too sharp. For instance, this entire face. So I like this part here, the edge, how it looks like, but I don't like the face. It looks maybe a bit too strong. Actually, you know what, guys? Why don't you type in the chat if it looks maybe a bit too sharp? You fixed the gallows minigame. I do not know what that is, believe it or not, Florinel. I don't know what fix the gallows minigame is. Okay, so it does look a bit too sharp, Florinel said. And please explain what the fix the gallows minigame. Okay. So, back into edit mode. Let's see if we get this right. Edit mode, and I want the faces. And I would just have, let's make a quick test with just selecting these faces, like so. So, does anyone know how I can select by angle in Blender? If so, also please type it in. Please type it in. Ah, what was NGS Nick? Okay. Where is Nimesh when you need him, man? Where is Nimesh when you need him? Ah. I don't know much about, okay, wait a second. I don't know much about the selection in Blender. Select, come on, we can do this. So if I select this face and then I go to select faces by sides. Well, that didn't work. Select by trait. YouTube it, yeah. Select similar, okay. Select similar coplanar. There we go, we're in business. Coplanar, threshold, increase it. Come on, coplanar. Repeat last action. I swear I know what it was, but I don't, so let's do it again. Select similar coplanar. Bam. Okay, you know what? Let's do it the old-fashioned way because we're just making a test, and yes, I will probably Google that in a second. But right now, it's just manual. So again, this is day one in Blender. This is how I look in day one in Blender. But there's a very good saying that applies to what I'm doing here, and I hope you'll also apply it to your lifestyle and your learning path, whatever the subject may be. You don't have to be good to get started, but you definitely have to get started in order to become good. And right now, yes, I did amputate 20 experience points just like that. It's like trades free software for modeling knowledge, just like that. Okay, so with these ones, I go back in the shading and I put it on smooth. And now, technically, I should have the object. I should have put the edges there too. Edges, smooth, vertices, smooth. No, you know what? Vertices sharp, edges smooth, and faces smooth. It does look a bit smoother. However, what I don't like is this kind of long edges, okay? You see how we get this nasty shadow here? You know what, let's export it and see if it also shows up in Unreal, but it should show up and actually even worse. So info, export FBX. Yes, export over it. By the magical powers of Unreal, we have detected changes. And let's already look here on this side. So here somewhere we should start also to see some shading. So I'll press import. There. So you see, we've got this exactly, NGS Nick. It's harder to master, but I don't know about you people, it's 250 euros less than 3D Studio Max per month. So I've got some weird shading here, here, and here. Back to Blender. Where are you, Blender? Okay. I go into edit mode, and this is super easy to fix. I select these two faces, and if I press Ctrl E, nope, not Ctrl E, not Ctrl E. Hello, Tony. So I select these two faces, I triangulate, nope, not Ctrl E, that's for sure. Shift E, it was Shift E, Shift E, no, it wasn't that one either. So I'm trying to do edge rotate, mesh tools, rotate clockwise, there we go. So remember how I had a line going like this, one of the edges? I just made it go like this. And now, if I export again, let's look in on, let's actually export it. File, export, FBX. There you go. and we go back in Unreal. So we're perfect just the way the camera sits now. You see this funky stuff here? I press import. It's magic. It's magic. Magic, I tell you. Okay, let's see. I still have some problems here and here. So this is, maybe I could actually do Control M? No, Alt M, Alt B, Alt, nah, okay. Whoopsie. Oopsie. I broke it. So there's a way to convert to quad. So line special, no, sub-object. I know there is. Anyway, I won't necessarily convert to quad because one, I don't know how, and secondly, because we use trees anyway in Unreal. This one, Shift. No, I won't press Shift E. I will just do again, rotate clockwise. There we go. Rotate it clockwise. Beautiful. NGS Nick is asking if this is the stream in which I show you the early work. No, that's on Sunday. Sundays are for playing games, reviewing them more like a level or game designer than a average player, if I can say that, than a regular player. And because I did get 5 followers when I challenged you guys, we will also look at my early renderings. Yes, the early work. Let's see now. These ones I don't like. Actually, these ones I don't like. Rotate up, great. So basically it just did almost the same. Here, if I do rotate clockwise. So what I'm trying, oops, this is a bad polygon. Blender, what are you doing? Yeah, so we'll correct it from here. It's actually pretty difficult to correct. Hey, you know what? Edit mode, we go into edit mode, into edge mode, and we just insert a vertex here. Extrude, repair, slice. Split edge. Okay, let's see if that worked. Doesn't look like it worked, of course. So then I'll select this again and I'll just do a bisect on it. Slice, bisect. Did it bisect anything? Yes it did, yes it did. And now I have a vertex here. And then, I hope I'm still not bisecting like crazy. And now, I'll go back into the face mode. I swear I had a vertex there. Didn't everyone see the vertex here? Yeah, it's there. And it works. Ah, okay. Now I have just to connect it by pressing J. So I'm adding a bit more detail. This way I'm hopefully making the smoothing better. J again. And by the way, if you watch the Unreal live streams, this is what their senior technical artist director is also suggesting. Still don't like these ones though, so you know what? Let's use different smoothing groups, because otherwise I'm basically smoothing by too much of an angle. And you know what? We'll go in the auto again. So properties, in the, come on, in the object, Where was it? Where was it? Here. Let's just auto smooth by angle. Low poly style. When I'm auto smoothing by angle and I'm trying to get the low poly style, should be somewhere below 30 degrees. So I'm going down at, you know what, I can actually type it because otherwise we get bored on the stream, 20 degrees. Like so, like so. And let's export it again. So now, if I look at it, object mode, it smoothed out where we had problems. It still looks smooth, like on the surface, as you asked for it. And whoa, I should have selected I did select everything. This one would need a bigger angle though, a bit bigger angle. So back into object mode, edit mode, select everything, faces, no, sorry, properties, and let's increase the auto smooth by a bit. Normals, there we are. Auto smooth, you know what, 30. Let's try a 30. 50. Okay, wait. Clear custom split normals data. That's also something that needs to be done. Smooth everything, and now 30. There we go. There we go. And from now on, for the rest of the objects, we'll just apply this quick cheat, because they're, come on, generic objects, we don't need that much fiddling and detail. So, looks smooth, looks still sharp. I liked this one, as I said earlier, so it still looks sharp. Let's save the scene, which is Control S, right? Okay. Sources, I'm in the proper folder, and you know what, let's create here another one called Stream Objects. I'm so impressed by the patience you guys show and by the progress we're actually making. This makes me feel very confident, and we might go further and do more wackier stuff. So, Plank repository. Remember, the scene, the Blender scene, has all the planks in it, so that's why I'm calling the scene Plank repository. And saving Blender file. Let's export it and see how beautiful it looks now in Unreal. Info, file, export. Wait, it needs to be selected. File, export, FBX. And here's another thing we should check. We should check the pivot, because right now the pivot is it has a bit of an offset. We should check where the pivot comes in Unreal. Change is detected. I want to import it. Beautiful. Looks beautiful. Oh man, this actually does look really, really handsome. Come on, come on. This is much, much better. Much better. But where is the pivot? If I select it, the pivot is where it's supposed to be in the origin. Dude, I don't know about you guys, but I already love Blender. Just because I don't have to reset X-form every time I export. It's Blender, you're my new best friend. Okay, and if I put it on the facade, it should be perfect. Okay, so let's see now. Let's edit the light map on it. So search light. Light map resolution 64. I think it's too big. Let's make it 32. Let's make it 32. Generate light map UVs. Let's actually look at the UV channel Unreal created for us. Remember, this is the channel we created in Blender. This is the channel Unreal magically generates for us. Save everything. it should actually ask me if I want to apply some changes, but I'll press the button, so I applied them myself. Save the object, and now let us quickly build, you know what, let's build it on medium. Before we do that, I'll show you a trick, a nifty little trick. Let's reduce this all the way here. I'll show you a trick. It's called pressing Alt 0, which shows me the texture, the light map resolution for objects. And if you look at the walls, they're green. This is green in some parts, so it's kind of messed up. I should regenerate that. But anyway, blue means too low, green means just right, red means too much. So this is too low. Damn. Okay. So let's set it back to 64 as Unreal has advised. 64. Okay, Unreal. You got it. And now it's starting to go towards the green side, but I don't want to load a lot of light map memory on this one, so I'll keep it like this. Let's press Alt 3 or 4, and let's build the lighting in like medium quality to see how the object looks like. Whoa! I still have to do some improvements with the null static mesh property. That's interesting. Let's give this bad boy a read while we're building lighting, and let's of course look at the processor working, because that's what we like to do on this stream, and I'm hoping it's not too boring. So yeah, the error is actually quite interesting. Oh, sorry, I've left you without the Swarm agent, my bad. There it is. Come on, Swarm, stay with us. So just look at the speed difference when we're building on medium. Yes, that is correct, NGS Nick. I was just reading that. We're still there, so Plank Test 015 and Rock Test Smooth Best 20. Because yes, I had some fun with the smoothing. But let's see how this one lights up. Yeah, map check found some... Dude, the light map quality on this one is too much, actually. Come on, man. Too much. And I'll demonstrate. I'll put it somewhere where it's like half shadowed, half not, and we'll look at it again, but it's too much. It is just too much. We'll probably decrease the texture to 32 by 32. And now, as NGS Nick suggested, this bad boy, where are ya? Bye. This one we have, and the other one was something Rock Test Smooth Best. This one, bye. Okay, so Control Shift S, I save everything, and now let's quickly rebuild the lighting. I still think this one has way too much lighting detail. So yeah, let's rebuild it. Thanks for the save, NGS Nick. I also found it, but thanks for the save. See, now we're clean now, Nick. We're clean. After we do this, I'll show you a nice, quick, and hopefully not that dirty method of doing rocks, like environment, rocks, etc., because they're also on the list. Now we know a plank is working. I won't bore you guys with showing you how I export and set smoothing groups on each plank. We just made the test to make sure we're able to work in Blender, export for Unreal, and everything looks good. I already tested a bit last night, but I'm glad I can now like do it properly without much hassle. I'll have to read the policies of each place I'm streaming in, but after I finish the level design course, we'll probably do giveaways if it's allowed and it's not considered betting or stuff like that, based on the processor threads and what each and every person chooses. I'll have to figure out a way to make it happen, because it's really funny to watch them. It's like if you remember those horse racing in the fun parks, you know, the outdoor parks where you throw a ball to move the horse on the track and you have to hit the hole to move the horse faster and so on. Anyway, maybe I'm too old and we don't have that technology anymore. So, exactly what I was saying. Unreal is suggesting to me 64 by 64 light map resolution for this plank, and usually I trust Unreal with my projects, so they must know what they're talking about, right? But at the same time, people, come on, it's just an isometric RPG. Okay, the shadow map resolution on the floor is way too low, but at the same time, this is way too much resources, way too much light map texture for a plank, which we will probably just use here and there to decorate, you know, to decorate our map, maybe like this. So it's way too much. Hey, Tony's back. Glad you're back, bro. Where'd you go to? The gym? Hey, we've got, oh man, we've got Meme on the stream. Meme, who is now a game, can I say it? Meme, can I say it? Can I say it? Can I say what you're up to nowadays? Please? I won't say it unless you allow me to say it. Talk about your job a bit. Yes, I can say it. Okay, so Meme is currently a game designer at Amber Studios, one of the biggest, if not the biggest, I guess the biggest mobile game development studios in Romania. So hello Mandaom, we're glad to have you back as well. So Tony, you might wanna say hi to Bogdan, because he's very well connected in Romania. There, I said it, Meme. Okay, let's reduce the light map resolution here. 32, my gut instinct was correct. So 32 here, and you know what? 32 here as well. And I don't like the spacing. 16. 16 is even worse. Hug to you too, man. Okay. Watch it, Bogdan. You're already making loyal fans here. Okay, one more build to see how the light map looks this time. But if I'm getting a bit of black in the cracks, it should be enough. In this splinter holes here and maybe there on the bottom. That should be enough. Yeah, but you're using aliases, eh? Come Come on, lighting, show us how fast you move. So if I reduce the texture, the light map texture resolution from 64 to 32, that means what I just did. That means now we can compile 4 planks like this in the I'm showing 4 planks like this in the same time it took us to compile a single one previously. So that's how important the reduction is, where and when you can do it. Okay. I did forget a small playlist on repeat for some reason. Upbeat. So yes, to answer to NGS Nick, that's why although I recommend myself as an expert in level design, I also do assets and whatnot, because yes, back in the Stone Age, in the time of dinosaurs, we were doing assets, textures, shaders, FXs, everything. This is something nowadays it's hard to do when working on a PlayStation game or whatnot, because it would take you a million years. But I remember I started back in the days of PlayStation 2. So I'm still getting some lighting here and there, looks good enough. Now here's another challenge for us. Do we need to add collision to it? So I just want to use this plank and planks like this one, just, you know, to decorate from here and there the landscape. And I don't necessarily like the fact that the player is clipping through it, and clipping through it quite a lot. At the same time, I wouldn't want to add collision so it cuts the nav mesh, so it makes a nav mesh island like the house does. A solution might be to add collision and add step over, and you know what, that's exactly what we'll do right now. So we'll add collision to the plank. This is like super easy. Let's hide the UVs. So this is plank without collision, collision, add box simplified collision. Hello, this is plank with collision now. It's that easy. But look what happens in the 3D view now. If I press P to look at the navigation again, you see, it's cutting the navigation. So maybe we go into the properties of the project settings, and in nav mesh or navigation system somewhere we can set the step height 35. You know what, let's try 50. Bogdan, your words are way too kind for me. Thank you, buddy. Thank you. Ah. Thank you, Bogdan. You are the most amazing person I've worked with at Ubisoft. You are great, and you just proved everyone you are great, because now you're a game designer, bro. Thank you again. Thank you. It's stuff like this you don't expect to happen when you start streaming and doing stuff on the internet. Thank you. Okay. Sorry, I just got a bit emotional, just a bit. It will pass. Thank you, Bogdan. Thank you. So, where were we? Collision on this one. Dude, you sent You sent good vibes, man. Felt it. Thank you, Bogdan. Okay. Yes, Bogdan is the success story I always talk about. He started as a QA tester. He then came upstairs in production floors to work as a cinematic designer. So he was implementing cutscenes, etc. And now, then he did scripting. Dude, he's the kind of person that does whatever the job asks him to do just to make video games, and he enjoys doing it. This guy can turn programmer if he wants to. Luckily, he did pursue the design path, and I'm glad there are more and more people that want to design instead of program, because you need good design no matter how good your code is. And yeah, he's the classical success story you hear about and you read about in the news. Okay, let's increase the step height even more, and yes, that really sends some emoji vibes right into the heart. Okay. Okay, come on. Edit. Okay, project settings. I'm back. Dude, I didn't expect that. So, navigation, let's increase the step height. 100. Yep, works. Doesn't works. Works. Nice. Okay, so it looks good enough. And then just a small mention to just tell everyone how lucky I was. I didn't start as a QA tester. I started directly as a level designer. But again, this was in a time and a day when if you would have been a grown-up, like a certified grown-up, you know, 18 years or older or 21 years or older, depending on the country, state, whatever you're living in, and you would have gone home to your family and told them you got a job making video games, dude, the reactions weren't like they are today. Wow, good for you, that's a great job. The reactions back then were more like, oh my god, our kid's gonna starve to death or something. So back then, game companies would hire any kind of lunatic that would want to join them and work for them. Unlike today, when you need to have a super solid portfolio to prove before you get hired that you know what you're doing, etc. So again, different time. That's why I'm saying nowadays you do need some university. If you want to follow the programming path, any programming computer science university works, but you need to have university studies nowadays. It's not as easy as it was back then. Okay, do I have navigation over them? I do. Does it still look so? Wait, let's move the spawn point. We always move, in this test map, we always move the spawn point when testing stuff, because it's fast. Okay, but now my character, won't step over them. Yeah. So this might be a problem. A problem which technically I could fix easy. What if I automatically generate collision? Automagically generate collision. Let's re-import the plank. That would be a solution. However, just regenerating the collision with what Unreal does might be enough, because you see wait, let me how do I, okay, like this. You see this, now it added some sharp stuff, and here too, which might just help the character walk on it. The thing with making the character jump, yeah, Tony, if you wanna go as a programmer in video games, then you definitely need programming studies. If you wanna go as a nope, still doesn't work. If you want to go as a designer, then you have now universities for design. And if you have your family's support to go to university, something which I didn't necessarily have because I have a much sadder childhood story we won't get into now, then I suggest you take it and you use it and you actually go to a university. So, make something out of yourself, man. Follow a university if you can do that. Especially in your country, they're super accessible. You don't have to pay a liver and a kidney to go to university. It's almost entirely free. I can guarantee that nowadays in cybernetics and automatics, you have great university teachers because they changed all the old geezers that were working there back in my day. Go and do it, man. You need it. It's your future. And then when you graduate, come to Croatia and take the master at Algebra University, where I'll be one of your teachers. Let's see if we can make the character jump over them. If not, I'll just make the character pass through them because I want us to model more in Blender today rather than fiddle with the character and navigation. Character. Character was content. Why are the icons so big? View options. Scale them down a bit. Okay, the character is here. You can still see them, right? I didn't scale them too much, right? Yeah. Okay. I should have character movement here. Step. Step height 45, 100. Compile, save. Brace yourselves, we just changed the character navigation variables. Doesn't seem to work if you ask me. Okay, but here it worked all the time. Here it works. Okay, it doesn't look that bad. I should make it even more than 100. Yeah, life plan in 9 minutes. Make something out of yourself, learn. I mean, I didn't go to a university. And back then universities couldn't teach me what I needed to learn, but you want to know how I learned? I was working 14 hours a day. Yeah, you heard that right, 14 hours a day. My first 3 years in the games industry was working for 14 hours a day. There's a strange noise. Is that life knocking or there's actually a strange noise? It might be the music, because I silenced the mobile phone. It might be the music, which is maybe not loud enough. Yeah, 14 hours a day, bro. From my mic. It might be, wait, I turn it down just a bit. It might be the coolers of my computer because the processors tend to overheat when I'm streaming and using Unreal. Is it like a humming on the background? Oh, that's weird. Sorry about that. I don't know if I can do much about it right now during the stream. The wind might actually be the computer coolers because they're running on maximum. Yeah, so it's still not stepping over. How much? Ivana, you're asking a great question. One of the game designers which I respect the most and with which I've worked directly on several projects. We've worked together for the first 6 or 7 years of my career. His name is Teodor Popa. He works at Ubisoft Bucharest, and he is actually he has this exact story. He started med school, he graduated med school, and then became a video game designer. So Ivana, yes, it's a good idea to finish any kind of university. And you know what universities teach you? They teach you a lot of stuff, like how to be on time, how to conduct your projects. They teach you a lot of stuff, not just the blah 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 knowledge thing. I'll try it one more time and then we'll probably make it go through the planks for now, and that's that. Nah, we'll make the character go through the planks for now, because I can't get the step up properly and all the time, and it's not that important right now, and we'll get to modeling some rocks. So let's reset everything we did. Reset. Yes, it's a very good idea to go to any university. That's my final vote on this. Or else you'll end up like me, working 14 hours a day, learning while on the job. And although it's fun, 8 hours a day works as well, you know? 10 hours a day when you absolutely have to, because that's the problem when you don't have any university but you're willing to do anything to get a job in the game dev field. The only company that hires you asks you to work for 14 hours a day. Duh. Step height. Yes, use placeholders and wait exactly. So NGS Nick asked me if nowadays as a level designer I am supposed to wait for the 3D modelers to send me the asset or just use placeholders. So yeah, in a super large company, I was just talking about this today with a fellow game developer. He works at Ironward, a very nice small studio here in Croatia, and we were laughing about it because on big projects you've got like an artist that only does the hair for characters and fur and whatnot, and it's the hair guy. And you've got one that only does skin shaders and textures for the characters, and he's the skin guy, and so on. So yeah, you have to wait for a lot of people to send you a lot of stuff before you can do your thing. But also, guess what? You also have to give a lot of stuff to a lot of people so they can do their stuff as well. So it's 50-50 on that one. Everyone waits around for everyone. Code. NGS Nick, I did modify what you're seeing here. I did code a bit, but I just modified a line. Of course, knowing what to put in that line to make it work is difficult. And I try to avoid coding for now because I'm not an expert. However, this is what I'm actually learning now in my spare time, coding. So I want to also have coding capabilities because nowadays it's super easy, it's well documented, and I can round my skill set even more. Oh, as a level designer, you might be surprised, but you need to have like programmatic thinking, to think like a programmer, because you need to at least make the logic flow, to think like a programmer in order to serialize everything. Okay, let's save this one. Let's make a new scene and check this out. Let's make some background rocks, and we're gonna do this real nice, real fast. Let's create a cube. So I'll do medium-sized rocks, and I'll use a different kind of technique, and then I'll do large-sized distant mountains, and I'll use a different technique there as well. So I just select everything, I put it somewhere about here. I always do want my objects to go a bit through the ground, because they're rocks. But you know what, actually, not these ones. These ones I'll keep, yeah, these ones I'll keep it with the pivot in the center. So first things first, scale, and let's talk about the Unreal units. Thank you very much for reminding me, guys. Unreal units versus Blender units versus whatnot. So Unreal is nowadays using the metric system. Unreal is working by default in centimeters. Maybe you can change it somewhere, I don't know, didn't try, didn't care, it's perfect in centimeters. I'm from Europe, I like it that way, everything is great. So Unreal uses centimeters. Blender, by default, uses something called Blender units, which are meters, if I'm not mistaken, or whatnot. And then, on top of that, the grid display is also displayed one grid square at each Blender unit, so one grid square at each meter. However, I have customized my Blender scene and turned it into centimeters, my Blender workspace, and turned it into centimeters, and the grid is set to show me every 10 centimeters. So what we're seeing here is actually 10 centimeters, this is 1 meter, we're seeing about 4 meters, and I want to make a rock that's about 4 meters, like a kind of a big rock, but the kind of rock you go past during gameplay, so it sits in the world and you have to avoid it or maybe get on it or whatnot. To also test my assumptions, I will save this as, I don't know, medium rock 01, and the first thing I'll do is to quickly export everything here. So let's do the smoothing groups real fast. Let's do the UVs real fast. UV mapping. Wow, I'm so good at UV mapping boxes. It's amazing. Okay. Info. Sorry. Properties. Where are you? Auto smooth by 30, perfect. And now we go to file. There we go. We decrease this, file, export, FBX. And we call it medium rock. So what we're hoping to get in the editor is a box that's about 4 meters long and about 1 meter wide. Let's see what happened. Not here, but here. By the magic of Unreal, did it detect the changes or not? Where did I export? Let's see where I exported. There's something fishy in Blender, and again I hope the mic is better now and you can still follow my voice and everything. Sorry, I can't do much about it during the stream. but I'll investigate it afterwards. I'm pretty sure it's the computer cooler though. Ah, okay, okay. I didn't put it where I had to. Okay, let's make a quick test. So sorry for the noise you'll hear while I get the mic out. You know what? Let's make a quick test. Let me just get the mic out from my jacket. Okay, so tell me if you hear it louder when I put it close to the computer case. Yep, so sorry about that, hence the background music. I'm hoping it would kill it. I'm hoping the background music would play itself louder. Sorry about that, it's a very loud cooler. First chance I get, I'll try to make it better. No smoothing group information, okay, no worries for now. Yeah. Whoa! So I got something wrong with the sizes, that's for sure. Or maybe not. But this doesn't look like 4 meters, people. Not at all. Well, I'm glad to be of service, I guess. Look, I can do this then. I'm pumping up the music a bit more, and hopefully you can still understand my voice. So just type it in if you can still understand my voice while we understand what's going on. Oh! I got it right. So is it better now with the music on top of it? But still, can you hear my voice? It should be. I hope it is. And I'll investigate how to make it cooler by default somehow. Yeah, I can see it in the equalizer. It's like Vietnam in here, it's warm. It's way too big. That's way too big. What I forgot about the project, the Unreal project, is that actually the Isometric RPG character has a funky size. So yeah, let's do this smaller. No, no, it had the width of 4 meters. It was good all around. And a very good question from Tony. No, I won't get copyrighted because I'm using Pretzel, which is a magical app which streams only uncopyrighted music. The guys at Pretzel are amazing and I have to thank them for that. So they're streaming music I'm allowed to then embed in YouTube and whatnot. It's the best. If you're a streamer, go check out Pretzel. It's amazing and it's completely free. I can show you. This is Pretzel. So this is Pretzel, the best thing that I could find to play uncopyrighted music without any worries. Yeah, but it was. Look, I'll do this, Nick, for sure. That's a. Actually, you know what? We can put 1 meter cube to see how it looks like. So, what was it called? Cube, but I don't know the size on this one. Geometry box. Let's make it 4 meters. Oh, yeah, okay, I know my mistake. Yeah, I don't have to anymore. So, if I'm using the grid that's 10 centimeters, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so that's about 12 centimeters. This is 1 meter 20 by, I got lost in the grid, 1 meter 20, let's make it by 60 centimeters, let's make it by, I don't know, something like 40 centimeters, right? This should be it. Let's save it and let's export it again. Oh, and let's generate smoothly. Forget about it for now. FBX. Yes, export it there. Import. So, if we make here a cube, that's 4 meters. No, So where was I again? I'm at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's 12 by 10 centimeters. That's, come on. That's actually Jeebus. 12 meters. 12 meters by, how much else did I have? So 12 meters, no, this one. 12 meters by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 by 400. And now, if we look, they kind of match. Let's take this one up. It matches. And up. Okay, and let's see what's happening below. Yeah, it matches. Okay, so the grid size is 10 centimeters. It's just that this level designer, who loves the metric system so much, you can start metric shaming me from now on, is a bit bad with it. Okay, let's see how it looks like when the player walks next to it. So I want this to be used as a rock. It's a cube now, I know. I'm not turning crazy. At some point we will use this as a rock that, for instance, let's go full screen, would separate, you know, would force you to go one way or another. So we plant this in the middle of a path or something, and it forces you to go either left or right. Right now we don't even have collision, but not a problem. We'll make it happen real soon, real fast. So How do I turn that into a rock? How do I possibly turn that into a rock? Well, glad you asked. Blender has some really hefty tools which I'm barely learning how to use. So selected all the edges. Let's first do bevel, if I'm not mistaken. A mount. I want to do it not, I don't want to lose the cube shape entirely. I want to do it maybe like this. I don't need to add profile, no nothing. Why? Because I have a tool in properties, modifiers, add modifier, which is called subdivision surface. And when I, oopsie, I have to exit the edit mode. So I go back into object mode, there we go. Subdivision surface, which automatically tessellates the box a bit. And you know what? I want to bump it up to 2 and I won't have way too many polygons. Don't worry, we're just getting started. So by using this one and applying the modifier, so it becomes the object, it is the object, whatever. Now I can go back into object mode. Maybe I'll put in some sculpt as well. So right now I'm just sculpting to break the shape even more, and I'll show you immediately why this will be a rock, I promise. So I'm just breaking the shape. You know what? I want the radius to be higher, auto smooth, maybe like this. Okay, so I'm just breaking the shape as much as possible. So, oh, the other Tony is here. Tony, I hope you like it now. I hope you like the stream now better. We're using Blender, which should be more on your taste. And believe it or not, this will be a rock very soon. Okay, so I'm just breaking up the shape a bit, like so. And now I go back into edit mode. I select all the polygons I can select, which are all of them, and then it's just a matter of doing this. Slice. If I, so Tony, if I take down the music, we will hear the coolers, sorry, but as long as you can hear me, I think we're good. So I try not to take the music down. Okay. So now I'm slicing faces away from the object with the bisect tool, like this, selecting everything, bisect, and let's go maybe a bit more like this, make it look like a rock. I want to slice like that, so it's sculpture. I am the rock sculptor because I'm giving it some really sharp faces, but from time to time I'll also keep detailed polygons here and there that will make it look a bit more detailed from time to time. So again, slice, bisect. This is a very quick and easy technique to make low poly looking rocks that still have some detail, as you can see. And slice. There we go. It's already starting to look rocky enough here. Maybe I'll go in here. So slice and do a real sharp one and longer like this, and then maybe I'll chop it off like that as well. So up, If anyone knows what the repeat last action for Blender is, please let me know. Please let me know if you know what the repeat last action hotkey in Blender is. It's my first day in Blender, second day in Blender, so I'm not yet that good with the hotkeys and everything. Yeah, I'll go aggressive in this one. So if anyone is a Blender here, and I don't know where Nimesh is because he's usually a Blender guy. Tips and tricks for learning Unreal in depth. Never surrender, never give up, man. I'm a level designer, so I know some Unreal, but I'm still Shift R if I'm not okay. No, that's scale, but I tried it. It might be Shift R in the vanilla Blender, but I'm using also maybe I'm using a Max-like interface for Blender, so I don't feel silly all the time. Okay. I've done this rock, but now I have the following problem, and this is where you can definitely see it. I turned off the grid so we can look at it. The object looks good from the distance. It looks like a rock. It will feel like a rock. We can place it in any sort of direction we want. It has some very nice long faces, which I like. F3 for recent actions. Yes, something showed up here, indeed. Yeah, okay, I like this down here, I'll keep it. So, we have this good looking detailed rock. However, if we look closely, from here and there, we have some really tiny polygons. So, the proportion between, you know what, I'll actually select the face to see it. So this face is really tiny compared to this face, or this face, or even this face. So how do I fix this? I select everything, I go into weld, and I weld. Okay, I get it. Thanks for the help, Tony. Okay, so let's see. F3 will give me a list of actions. They might be somewhere, but where? Okay, I'll dig for that a bit later because I'm using an interface. But thanks for the help, Tony. So, by doing weld at 10 centimeters, I got rid of most of the tiny annoying faces. This one I need because it does add me detail. Alt M for merging vertices. Okay, let's try it. Alt M. Yeah, it will merge all the vertices. Maybe if I do this and go Alt M at the center. Yes, that's brilliant. That's the next one in the list. Yes. Nice. That's a good one, Tony. So, are you a Blender guy? If you are, you're part of the group that convinced me to switch to Blender. And there we go. Actually, I like this because they keep the detail on this side. Yes, okay. Then let us rejoice. One more joins your club, your Blender club. Okay, now let's do a bit more work on the edges. Maybe some chamfer here and there, not everywhere. Some bevel, sorry. here and there. Okay. Because I don't want it to have only sharp faces everywhere. I want it to have some sharp, so I like this sharp cut, but maybe this one and this one and this one can be beveled. Like so. Looks good. Whoa, something went down here. So that's why I'm switching back to vertices and welding everything at 10 centimeters or even 20. Okay, and ladies and gentlemen, this looks like a rock now. So we just created our first rock. Still, the smoothing groups need to be improved. So face mode, I still have some vertices here that might need to be connected. We'll see how Blender decides to export and if we need to connect. So edit mode, I want to go into edit faces, select everything, but it's not from here. Object mode. Auto smooth 30. 30. Yeah, I have to select the faces, sorry. You are doing good, Bogdanel. You are doing good to learn Unreal, just to learn Unreal first and then Blender, because Blender, you get better at it. I mean, any modeling software, you get better at it as you keep on using it. Face is smooth. Smooth. Okay. Not. Let's make you flat again. And let's see, why isn't the auto smooth working? Could it be because we didn't add the custom split normals? Flat. 60, please. I want you at 60. Okay. What are you doing here, Blender? Okay. Okay. Edit mode, object mode. Dude, that still doesn't look flat to me. That still doesn't look smooth to me, if you ask me. Smooth. Auto smooth at 20. Yeah, so the auto smooth just doesn't want to cooperate. Okay, okay. So this is how it's gonna be, eh? I'll just do this manually. Rock. The problem with long, large faces connecting to a lot of polygons is even if I do them manually here on flat, I set them on flat to get that sharp surface look, Unreal still might have something against it. But let's try it. Again, this is day one with Blender. Please don't judge me. Don't judge me. Okay, flat. Yeah, seems it worked. Seems it worked. Okay, it worked. So now I have this really flat. Let's make it a bit bigger. So now I have this like really flat surfaces, the large ones, which I really love. But we also have like these smooth surfaces where, you know, as if the rock was hit by wind and water and rain and whatnot. So I really like it this way. Remember, always save your files, because you don't know when you run out of power, Blender crashes, anything crashes, Windows updates, whatever. And info, export selected. FBX, yes, this one. And now, if we go back to Unreal, so this is what we did 10 minutes ago, and this is how it looks now. We have ourselves a rock, everyone. Of course, someone forgot to add UV mapping on it. That's why it looks funky. It shouldn't matter that much though, if we look at it and we add our our opacity solid material, because I'm just using, oops, not the opacity solid, but the solid, this one, because we're just using a solid color on the object, so it should be okay. However, remember how on the last episode we did, remember how on the last episode we actually did a material instance called rocks, which might be a bit too white, but we'll use it for now. I still see some smoothing group trouble here and there, but I won't correct it for now because I want to see how it looks like with the light on it, and because I want to produce a few more of these bad boys, the rocks. So, oh, collisions, please, collisions, collision, let's add collision, auto-convex collision. You know what, not like this, but like this. Let's let it generate by itself. Asset, let's re-import, bam, and now simple collision. Wow, we have ourselves a collision as well. Save it and play it. Again, I'm too far from the object. I'll move the spawn point so we don't waste a lot of time just chasing the mouse cursor, because it's boring for me, it's boring for you. And there we go. Can't go through it. And technically, if I shoot it, yep, my magic orbs also impact with it. Okay, so we created our first rock, people. That's amazing. Let's do something else now. Let's do from the list, because again, I don't want to show you the repetitions, because repetition is kind of boring. Now you've seen how to do a rock. Let's do something else with another technique. Let's do a signpost. So, okay, rock plus variation. Let's say we did one rock, and let's call it actually medium rock, because we did it to be a medium-sized rock. And let's do a signpost. I wanted to do a signpost, and if everyone's up for it, we'll actually add some blueprint functionality to the signpost as well. So what do you say, peeps? Should we do a signpost? Yeah, not the rocks from the campfire. The campfire is a separate object we did on the last episode. So, should we do a signpost and add blueprint functionality? So when you go close to it with your character, we show a screen holding all the text written on the signpost, as if, you know, like press. Yes, and just Nick, repetition is the mother of teaching. So, a signpost, let's add here, when player is close, HUD prompt to press space to read, and if space pressed, we show the text level designer placed on signpost. So basically we'll make an object that asks you, hey, what would you like to write on the screen? And then you type something in, because it links to the story, it links to whatever you're doing there. And when you go close to it, just like with the door, which I can easily demonstrate, just like with that door there, let's go next to it, you're prompted to press space. So let's look at the door a bit, just to see what we're trying to achieve. I go close to the door, and you see I get this prompt here, press space to open door. So it will be press space to read signpost. And now when I press space, the door opens, but with the signpost, when we'll press space, we'll display on the HUD the story of the signpost, any kind of text we find written in the signpost. And actually, let's quickly model it in a Blender. So save, new. How thick should a signpost be? Create a cube. 1 meter. No. 20 centimeters. So 20 centimeters would be the pole holding the post. Now, in the case of the signpost, here's what I would like to do. Whoopsie. Because I know anyone in their right mind will usually place the signpost in the ground. You know, we can delete that face, so we can delete this face here, and we could, I don't know, just take this a bit taller. Let's see, how tall is it? It is in meters, 2 meters tall. No, that's too tall. 1.5 meters tall, and let's see if we scale it. Maybe if we scale it like this and then go back here. If anyone can tell me how to scale on 2 axes in Blender, I will be of much gratitude. Okay, so this is the pole, and check this out. For the signpost itself, I'll use a method called create. So I'll just I don't know, go in vertex mode maybe? No. Create fill. Woo! Florinel is back. Shift and left click on the axis. Okay, I'll try this one, Nick. So check this out. I create a plane inside the object, right? So I just created a plane, and then because again the trolls aren't the best carpenters in the world, S shift plus letter of axis, you don't want to scale. X, Y, Z, X. Oh, okay, I get it. S shift. Shift S, no. Okay, so let's imagine I'm scaling this face. So I'm scaling plus scale. Aha, something is happening indeed. Something is happening there. Oh, it's with Alt somehow. Okay. Okay. Alt and middle click. Does it? No, because this does it on a single axis. Anyway, I'm trying the 2.79 default, so I'm not in experimental mode. So anyway, we don't need it for this demonstration. but I'll figure it out. Yeah, it looks different because I've skinned it with 3D Studio Max-like interface. Sorry, guys. Okay, and here I have something like cut. Yeah, cut. And how does a signpost in the trollish world looks like? Well, it looks like this, like this. It has a chip here, a chip there, something here, maybe a bit of bevel here, a bit of bevel here, a bit of this, a bit of this, and maybe a bit of this, 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 a crack here and here and here. Okay. Aha, okay, so in normal Blender that should, okay, yeah. I'm not normal anymore. So, I just created this tiny little shape here that should look like a signpost arrow, and now if I press maybe in Control E, I just extrude it like this, and there we go, people. That's how fast Blender can be, that's how fast any modeling software can be if you're just thinking right about how to model. So now we just rotate this, we put it here like so, put it here, and this looks like a trollish signpost that tells us where the next trollish outpost or village or whatnot is. Let's add a bit more detail here and there by beveling the edges. So maybe these ones. I want to make them a bit smoother. Oh, too smooth. I don't want them by amount, I want them by percent. Okay, because if I use percent, okay, I want them by width. No, I want them by depth. No. Offset. No. Offset? Offset might work, might work, might work. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. A bit of randomize. Co-reactivities. Well, my friend, since this is my first day in Blender and obviously you do know what you're talking about, I will probably use that right now. I don't like what it did here though. Okay, it's good enough. Randomize, you said. We shall try it out in a second or so. Oh man, this is gonna hurt. See, here I have to triangulate. I know me some shortcuts. I know that if I press J, it triangulates. Randomize. Okay, okay. Let's see what that does. So I'm guessing it's on faces, and I'm guessing it's on modifiers. Properties. Randomize. It might be here, but it might not be here. Ah, it might be. Okay, okay, okay. It might be. Come on. How do I select an entire sub-object? Left side tool shelf. Okay. Left side tool shelf. Mesh tools. Randomize. Ew. Ew. Okay, so it's like a vertex. It's like a vertex noise co-reactivities, right? It adds a bit of jitter to the noise and whatnot. Dude, thank you so much. Or Dudes, I don't know. Thank you so much. Wow, 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 I like this. Oh man, where have you been last night, my friend? I was so anxious about streaming because I couldn't find all the buttons I'm used to working with. Where were you last night? When I tried the first rock and I was like anxious and nervous and thinking, how am I? Oh, but it also creates, it also adds vertices from time to time. Dude, this tool is amazing. Displace modifier with a texture. Yes, I could, but that would defeat the purpose of moving fast in low poly directly. It doesn't add vertices. I had that then there, maybe. Okay. Okay, so thanks for reminding me. You know what else I will do? I will do a tiny little weld just to be sure. There we go. The common mistake is my middle name. I don't know if the weld worked. Should have worked. I don't know. Okay, so whoopsie. So if I go into edit mode and let's say I'm on a face and then I press Ctrl L, yes, 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 yes. Thank you, Cyberfunk and Tony. I was not expecting a lot of things for tonight's stream or this morning's stream, depending on your time zone. One of them being the fact that I would be greeted in the Blender world by such a great community. So thank you so much. It's nice here in Blenderverse. Okay, enough signposts for now. Let's add some blueprint functionality as well, and then maybe we come back and make the box look like a proper plank. Control I for inverting selection, yes, that I already tested. I thought it came with the interface, but probably it's Blender. Nice. Okay, let's save this one. Let's call it signpost. Like so. Smoothing groups and the likes. The smoothing groups I still don't feel I master entirely. So Cyberfunk and Choreactivities, jump in if you know a bit about smoothing groups as well, because I feel I'm like winging it. Plus and minus on my numlock. Okay, to grow the selection. Let's actually try this one. No, on my numlock. Yeah, I think not, because probably the interface. But yeah, it's used to grow the selection, I'm guessing. Auto smooth. If this works, but it didn't. This should work. Should work. Edit mode, object mode. I'm getting some smoothness here. Choreactivities, edge split modify. Aha, okay, so I smoothed the entire object. Okay, I'm trying to smooth the object. That's what I'm trying to do. Edit mode, edit faces, and now the smooth. There we go. Okay. Yes, live on a stream, because that's how I figure out doing it. And then I have to apply it, clear and add. I want the face is flat, clear. 45. So what I don't get is why my, let's try a small angle like 5. When I add the custom split, it goes into the split of the settings I put here. Yes, Corey activities, and that's the plan, that's the long-term plan. Short-term plan, just to get some modeling going so I can keep up doing the assets, that was my best solution. But yes, I already signed up for a Blender course. Yes, I hope so. Okay. So, tell me about the smoothing, because I don't see the auto smoothing working. Corey, tell me exactly what's going on with the smoothing and how to get there. Because right now I'm either smoothing everything here by the selection, and I'm guessing that maybe I can do, I don't know, this and make it flat, invert and make it smooth, and edge split modifier. Ah, not the custom split normals, edge split modifier. Okay, my bad. Flat? Okay, so for instance, if I want it like this, and now I go into the edge split modifier. Huh. Splitting with a threshold angle. Oh, okay, and it actually adds edges and stuff. Okay, let's see, let's try it out. Edge split. Split angle 30. No. 60. No, don't like it. 40 starts to look real sharp, but even I have to go lower. At sharps, yeah, exactly. And I'm guessing that they determine the sharp based on what I put in the edge information. So if I go here in edit mode and on edges, I can set this one as sharp, and it will definitely split there. Okay, so that's how I choose my smoothing lines. Okay, so yeah, got it. Makes perfect sense. Okay, looks good enough, and I still have some smoothness here. Good. I like it. Good, let's export this one and UVs. Oh, did I apply the modifier? Because I know I have to apply the modifier. There we go. I'm learning Blender. Yes, but we'll also add functionality. So the streams have started to take, I don't know, 2.5 hours or 3 hours. Smart UV unwrap as a modifier, you mean? I'm guessing it's a modifier. If it's not a UV project. Whoops, I don't want this one. It's an option in, okay, so it's an option here in the UV menu. Image. No. Here. No, this is the grease pencil. Here. No, this is grease pencil again. Okay, so select the whole mesh in edit mode. Let's go in faces and press U. Smart UV project, but this is the one I'm usually using. Yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I was hoping to have a button here to do it, but that's the thing with Blender. It's very shortcut centric. So you have to learn. I know in the long term you model faster, but at the same time, when you're starting out, it's a bit more difficult to pick up. But yes, it's lovely. And you see, this is why I'm using this interface, because I have it here like in 3D Studio, whatever, and I can choose all the functions. But I love it. I mean, although I'm very grateful for Autodesk, I think I'm sticking with Blender for a while. Object mode. Let's export this one. My mouse is jittery a bit. So info, file, export, FBX. And let's see what we got here. Signpost FBX, stream objects, perfect. Back to the drawing board. I'm pretty sure I didn't export it in the proper folder again. File, export, FBX. Yes, I didn't. Stream objects. Bam! Now it's proper. And by the powers of Unreal, I summon you. Yes. Okay, no smoothing group information was found in this FBX scene. Please make sure the enable export smoothing groups option in the FBX is active. Let's check it out quickly. You people are amazing for having patience here with me. So it's in the export dialog. It should be in the export dialog. File, export, FBX, signpost. Okay. I keep on forgetting I have to set the preset every time, and maybe I can actually I think I broke it. Okay, let's try it again. Operator presets. Apply modifiers, and in main, I'm pretty sure I am exporting normals and the tangent space, so I shouldn't get the error. So export. Okay. NGS Nick, that's what I'm trying to do, to send it to Unreal. Maybe you need to apply the modifier first or select it in the export settings. Yeah, I have there to automatically apply the modifier. How can I see if I have a modifier applied or not? Tools. From here, properties. Maybe I still have a modifier active. I don't. So it looks clean to me, if you ask me. Wait. Project, everything looks good. Why won't it export? Tangent space can only be computed for trees, quads, aborting. Because I don't have only trees and quads. Right side wrench symbol. Yeah, it's here. The problem is I'm doing something that's generating something else than trees and quads. And how could I make this to trees or to quads? That's the question. Object mode, I should go maybe in faces, select everything, and mesh tools to trees or to triangulate modifier. My gosh, my golly gosh. Found it. There, but I can't do it while in edit mode. I have to be in object mode to add modifiers properly. There we go, triangulate. Okay, and I want it on beauty or on fixed alternate. It doesn't seem to do much of a difference. Shortest diagonal, engine method, clip. Okay, there we go, beauty. You know what? Good enough. Okay, let's export this one and start doing some blueprints. Although, let's smooth out some faces. So, edit mode. That's a lot of polygons, man. Okay, select. So it's info, oh, no, not info, 3D view, select similar coplanar. Okay, so it's Shift G, okay, but I want the threshold to be bigger. There we go, a bit smaller, and even a bit smaller. There we go. So I want all this to be flat. I guess you guys are also having like super fun now, because it's like watching a kid learning to ride the bike. Oh, it didn't work actually. Shift G, coplanar. Yes, because this way they go inside. Okay, so smooth means they go in the same smoothing group, and flat means they go in distinct smoothing groups. Okay. I learned myself Blender slang today. On the back I actually like it like this. On the front I like it nice and smooth. Silky smooth, as Borat would say it. Okay. And now, brace yourselves, he's gonna export again. 3D view, no, it's in info, file, export, FBX. We got it, we got it. Okay, by the magical powers of Unreal, you have been summoned. Let's see what we got here. Yep, looks like a signpost. I like the fact that it's a bit buried into the ground. And if I bring my player, hey player, and there we go. F11, press play. Oh yeah, it's perfect. Let's quickly generate a collision here. A simple box collision will work for this one. We don't need to go loco. Thanks again, Core Activities, for the great lesson. Collision, add box simplify collision, best collision I ever did. Material, wood. There we go. Okay. And maybe rotate it like this for testing purposes. Okay, so what are we trying to achieve? Well, first of all, we're trying not to use the static mesh anymore, but to create an actor. Static mesh is props. So I've got the smart house, I've got the signpost. Actor, sign. Okay, I want to add my newly created static mesh. See ya, and thanks again. Signpost mesh, we shall call it, which will be the signpost we just did. There we go. It looks beautiful, doesn't it? And here's the deal. We want the smart signpost to detect when the player gets close to it. So we'll have to add a box collision like this. Let's say player detector. I always try to give it like clever names and whatnot. Okay, scale. Yeah, because it's non-uniform like this, so it should work from any angle. But you know what? Actually, let's make it work more when you're like in front of it. We have to provision the cut this object will also do in navigation, so we have to fatten up a bit the box. You know what? From any side you get close to the signpost, you'll see the prompt to press space to read what the signpost says. And how will this work? In the event graph, on the player detector, we'll add an event on overlap. On component, begin overlap. I'm casting to the top-down character what the player drives around through the world, and if I'm overlapping with the top-down character, then in the UI we'll have to reference a text object. So let's see, I know I had that somewhere, so we can quickly copy-paste it from the chest or even the smart house. We already did that in the smart house. Phone door in the event graph. Let's take all of this. Whoopsie. Let's take all of this, put it in the signpost, and I'll explain, because it's faster than creating it again. And Indie Club Live is here. Hey Indie Club Live, thank you so much for the sacrifice. I was actually wondering why there are so many people on the stream today. You took one for the team, eh? Okay, so when you're overlapping with the signpost, your character gets input enabled for the signpost, and then we set the message, press space to read signpost in the player's HUD widget. We'll do something later on this pin. Let's see if it compiles like this. It compiles, and let's actually test it. Huh. Huh. Interesting. Oh, target self. And as top-down character, yeah, okay. Thank you very much, Indie Club Live. Okay. So this requires a top-down character. You know, okay. There, HUD widget. Not. Let's do this because I have a feeling it's from there. Or maybe I'm not reaching the volume. Or maybe I should, or maybe the reason why it's not working is because I have to put it in the world. So, okay, Indie Club Live, please confirm, is this level designer thug life or what? You debug for half an hour why it doesn't work, and then you realize the object you were debugging on was just a static mesh, not the smart actor you were doing. There we go. Press space to read signpost. There we go. Let's go back into its functionality again, and let's do on the player detector on end overlap. So if we end the overlap, if we go out of that box, okay, and again, if it's a top-down character, we'll just cast to. So, if a top-down character, this auto exposure, or which one, from the game or from my face, I'm actually testing different lights and stuff, but it can be handled. I know I'm getting some funky colors now, I'm glowing. FO4. Oh, okay, it burns. Okay, I get it. Hello, FO4 and Danis Kandarov. I'm trying to not botch up the names too much. This is a project, a tiny project we're building live on the stream. I'm building live on the stream with the support of everyone who's helping me learn Blender and whatnot. It's an isometric RPG that I'll be using as a support for an upcoming level design course. And we're having fun learning stuff. Okay, so now the signpost has the basic, let me just burn your eyes more. The sign now has basic functionality, and you know what? I might not have to disable it from the project settings because I have a neutralizer post-process volume here, which if I remember the influence, how to set it to influence everything. Nah. Yeah, I'll disable it real fast. Lens flares, post-process, okay, infinite extent. So, if, boom, there we go. This is, sorry by the way, this is the developer, what you just saw was like the final mode where I test blooms and lights and whatnot, and the colors you're seeing now, which are much easier on the eyes, and hopefully my very great audience still has good vision, because you have to watch the stream with those eyes. I hope I didn't ruin them. Now it's much better because it's like on the developer mode where flat colors and everything, and it also helps me debug light artifacts. Okay, so now we have the signpost that's prompting me to press space to read signpost, but I press space and nothing happens. Because we didn't do nothing yet. Let's add a text variable in the signpost, which will also be editable by anyone, level designer, creator, content creator, anyone. And let's call it signpost message. It's a string or text. It will be a text style variable. Let's compile it. And let's give it some test value. Being a localized text, yeah, that will. So what's the difference between using text variable versus string variable? 10 months from now, when you want to localize your project, you will curse that you used a string type of variable that's not easily localizable, and you'll have to crawl the entire project. FO4 engine, thank you very much for the compliment, I guess. No, I'm not Belgian. I am Romanian, and now I live in Croatia. Yeah, that's my natural Romanian accent when speaking English, if that's what you're asking. So, je suis pas belge, mecton. Pas de belge dans ce stream, quoi. Yes, exactly, NGS Nick, and we'll actually create another widget with the same principle. But I didn't do a widget directly. I make a widget that stores any kind of text you put into it. This way, I don't have a widget for each object. I have a single container widget that displays text. Any kind of text it finds in a variable. Of course, my method is more prone to bugs. If you try to display with zero text, we'll see the console. Maybe we get some bugs even now. Thank you very much, FO Engine. Glad you like it. So, we have the signpost message, and if space is pressed, let's just print string for now, because that's how we roll. We make tiny increments, and then we improve. We compile it, we save it. It auto saves anyway, but I'm crazy about saving. Press space to read signpost. Ha! Test. Can anyone see this? So it works. I'm pressing space, and I'm getting in the corner of the screen test written there. Okay, now let's put it in the HUD. So in the signpost, I will just set, no, let's create a new widget altogether in the HUD. In my HUD player, so this is my text block which I use to get all messages from world objects, and let's actually add another one. Text box or just block. Let's just put a simple text widget. We'll center this. Oh man, I'm so bad at anchors. Okay. You know what? Let's do it 200 by minus 100, and let's make it minus 150 by 300. It might be too small to read, right? Right. And we'll probably size it by content. Nah, I don't know if we should size it by content or... let's not size it by content yet. Okay, so this text block, in the text here, we should bind it to something. So I don't want it to display anything. And we should create a new binding called getText. The names here are amazing. Okay. Return value, and let's create a variable called HUD. You can't see the variable I'm creating. That's bad. Just a second, guys. Sorry. I have to move my face So the video screen capture and the image, I have to move them a bit. You know what? I'll move here, I guess. Okay, so I just created a variable here. Bye, Tony. See ya. And good luck pumping that iron, man. Okay, so let's call it HUD signpost message. It's also of type text, because this way we can pass at a later point localized whatevers. It's also public and editable for now. It might work if I keep it private. It might, but I don't know. So that's why I set it public right now. And so right now I'm getting whatever text I put in the variable from the HUD signpost message, right? And now I go back to the blueprint. And not this one, sorry, this one, the one with the signpost. I delete this debug thing, and when I press spacebar, I do set signpost message. But I have to do it from the player's widget. So I'll get it from here and go set HUD signpost message, like so. Like so. So when I press space, I set in the signpost message whatever message I put in the actual signpost. Now we have a default value, which is test, 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 right? So I hit play, I go in here, and boom, I see this, test, test, test. Let's see if I edit this, and I will say something which should be clear to everyone in the hub. It is amazing. There we go. So Indie Club Live, this one is for you. Our test message is okay. So it definitely works. Now we have the following problem. The text jumps to one side, which I don't necessarily like, instead of staying centered. The box maybe should not allow, the text container should not allow the text to spill over. So it's from here. It should wrap text, outline, shadow, width, align to the center, yes. Auto wrap text, yes. And let's compile and save. Exactly. We should have much better results now. Yes, yes. Florinel, I think I'm far from subliminal any way you put it. It's as blunt, as direct as it can be. There's nothing subliminal there. Nothing. Okay, but now we want the message to disappear. Yes, yes. Clean it when press space disappears. So that means, let's clean this up indeed. As usual, you know, my newly found modus operandi, doctrine and religion at the same time, is add comments for, you know what, I don't need this bad boys. Add comments, add comments, add comments. So create comment, and I'll call this one player exits trigger area. I'll call this player enters trigger area. I'll call this tiny little block here player presses space. And thanks NGS Nick. C. Who would have thought of that? Who would have thought of that? So Unreal, although I've been using it for quite a while, I didn't have the chance yet to use it that much professionally. I was using in-house engines, this being the, let's say, bane of the professional level designer, and I think Indie Club Live can also confirm this. Hey, Indie Club Live, how often in your career did you use Unreal Engine, although you're a level designer for like 8-10 years, even more? Surprise us. Type us the number. Surprise us. Okay, while I do this. So if spacebar was pressed, exactly. Exactly. I feel you, buddy. So, in case you're wondering what's this I'm doing here, if you press space, I disable any kind of logic from the begin overlap component, but then with a 10-second cooldown, I re-enable it. Because right now, oh, I need to add the sequence here too. Yay! Sequence like this, and here with a delay of also 10 seconds. See ya, Tony, and thanks for hanging out. I promise the course will be ready pretty soon, and you can start actually working the level design content instead of just watching me figuring out Blender and whatnot. Thank you so much for being here. Okay, so with a 10-second delay, I set this one back to as much as possible nothing. And now we should have the press space working properly. Come on, come on, come on. But for some reason, it doesn't work because I'm not hiding it. Because I'm not hiding it, guys. Why am I not hiding it? So if you press space, ow, ow. No, because I'm not actually hiding the text message, which is here. Huh. 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 Like so. There we go. Couldn't you just use some branches and the boolean? Maybe. I'll actually follow up on that one with a comment, because I'm really interested in your method with branches and booleans. Why I like the gate is because I can always reactivate it, and I prefer gates instead of setting booleans, because you're talking about setting a boolean to 1 and 0 and stuff like that, and branching based on the boolean. But I guess it's just a matter of preference. I don't know exactly what impact on performance we have. 10 seconds is way too long and the text might not disappear. I'm still counting. Ah, it disappeared actually. Okay. Okay, let's parameterize the time the text stays on the screen as well. So let's do this one, and we'll probably commit and call it a night. So we want a parameter for this delay, so we'll just promote a variable. We'll call it time to show text on screen. Time to show, actually no, we'll just put it time to show, and I'll do something amazing. This is the first time I'm doing this live, but it should become a habit if I plan to distribute this project. What was I thinking so far? I shall, Indie Club Live, rejoice, I shall add a tooltip. Controls the time, the signpost, text stays on screen after interaction. Okay. Default should be 4 seconds. And let's also use time to show in this delay. And save everything, hit play, and again let us rejoice with our subliminal but not so subliminal blunt message. There we go. We still have a problem. It's not starting to detect again if the player stays in the signpost area, but if I exit from the signpost area and go back, technically, let's see what's going on here. Okay, on component begin overlap, and let's give it a time to show is at 4. On player detector, add an event here, collision. No, actually it should have worked. So I'm fumbling up something else. Yeah, I know what I did. This sequence here, this delay, should actually be connected to the player presses space, to this delay. So let me quickly fix it, and it's a home run for tonight. With the sequence. This one will reopen here. Yeah. Oh, wait. We have another one. Indie Club Live, we have another one. Right? It works on my machine. It's like, I don't know, dude. It works on my machine. You figure it out. Okay. This fades away. I'm still not renaming. Okay, so now I'm re-enabling space to read signpost. And NGS Nick, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yes, the trigger is on enter, and right now I will switch to exactly what NGS Nick was saying earlier. It's no longer a matter of preference. So yeah, let's create a variable. Player in area. I don't know what I would do without you guys, like seriously, and thank you very much, NGS Nick. NGS Nick and everyone who helped me with Blender, it's you guys, thank you. Player in area, it's a boolean. By default, it's disabled. I set it. If you enter and you're a player, clap your hands. Set this. Yep, that's how I always roll. That's how I roll. Okay. Set, as long as this one is problem, because I'd have to set it here in the back, like so. Indie Club Live, I'm sort of starting to feel you with that performance anxiety you were talking about, but I'm still going at it. So if you enter, I set this, and then I do some stuff, regardless of what I do. Shouldn't you disable the input after ending the overlap with the collision box? Yes, but that's the easy part. That's not a problem. Right now I'm trying to figure it out. Even if I use booleans, we still have a problem. Even with a boolean, we have to re-enable it. So I don't think I'll use a boolean, because what's actually happening is here, or I might use a boolean. I have to send an enter on a switch. No, on a branch. I might use a boolean. I might, which is true. And I set this one and go into a branch. Yeah. We're gonna use the boolean. Boolean is good. Thank you, NGS Nick. If you ever make a level design course, NGS Nick, please invite me to it. Okay, the player has pressed space. I do some hello Juizoi. Hello Juizoi. Nick, as CTV was saying, you act as a tough level designer and then you get schooled on Twitch. It's not a joke, bro. Not a joke. After the stream ends, I will go and cry in a corner of my room. Thanks for the background. That's actually part of what we're trying to achieve. We're trying to remodel most of what you see in that background. Remodel and redo everything there. Because I cannot distribute that background. I have purchased those assets, but I do not have the right to redistribute the source files for the assets unless we're working on the same project, and we're not working on the same project. So yeah. That's why we're modeling and trying to achieve something similar to that. Okay, so I've pressed spacebar. If I pressed spacebar, then I set the Boolean player in area to be nothing. Boom, like this. Then I set the HUD, then I do everything, then I do the delay. And once the delay is completed, I set the Boolean again. I'll drag the variable to set. I learn something new every day. But Alt drag, maybe if I take it from here. No, but because I can't take it from here. If you just drag and drop, you, okay, you get and set. Okay, okay. What's the shortcut for getting? Control? Wow, I figured that out by myself. Okay, let's see if it works now, and then maybe we also Florinel, it's half puzzle, half science. Big up to NGS Nick for schooling me on why I should use booleans. Hey, Indie Club Live, you know what I'll do here? After the stream ends, you do realize I will go back and refactor everything I was doing with gates and switches and whatnot to use booleans. Now I'm trying some edge cases. Ha! This is an edge case. So the Boolean method works, however, I might not set it. So if I set the disable input when the message is up. Yes, okay, that's easy. So just when the message is up, when the space bar was pressed, I will do a sequence. So the puzzle thickens, my friends. I will do a sequence and then I will disable input on the player controller, and then when everything, actually this should be enough because then I enable the input here. That should be enough. Let's see. And just Nick, we still have a problem, and you know what's funny? We might go back to using the switch again. Can you believe that? Can you believe that? The switch, sorry, the gate, as well as the Boolean. Let our powers combine. Okay. See, NGS Nick? I still have this left over here. This press space to read signpost, which now have, oh, okay. Please forgive my ignorance. Please excuse my ignorance, I know why. Because I'm still using the old method here when the player exits the area. So let's do this one. Done, bug is fixed, and just Nick. And Indie Club Live, if you want us to be like super level designers, the ones that would make NGS Nick proud, we would actually on spacebar on the sequence add a debug print string to verify that I actually disable the input. And let me try to make the, I can't control the, okay, duration 0.5. So in the Club Live, this is our moment of truth as scripters. Press space, received input. Now it's not, I'm spamming space, it's not receiving input. It works. It works. Nice. Oh. 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 I still have some broken functionality here and there, and I might just go back to the gate. No, I won't go back to the gate. Okay. And overlap. I set player in area to 0. Ah, yes, that's an easy one, my friends. That is an easy one. Back to the gates. Yeah. I'm searching for a male person to help me fight. No, I'm not going back to the gates. It's done. But I still have this. Why is this still on? I know. I still have it here. Because of this chunk of delay, which shouldn't be here. Which should only what's it called? Branch. Yes. Found it, fixed it. Whoopsie. Not there. I've put it wrong. It's good, but I've put it wrong. Wait, I want to see what where this goes, where this should go. You know what? This should go. Yeah. Control B for faster branch. Again, shortcuts are amazing and I'll do that. On a delay, I set the HUD signpost message to nothing, but then only if you are in an area. You know what? For some reason, I feel the need to do this. Left click B. For some reason, I feel the need to do this. Let's introduce another bug, but fix the logic properly in the club live. It's that time of the evening. So, space to read signpost, space to read signpost, space to read signpost. Space to read signpost, so it works like this. Nothing happens here. And if I go out, while the text is showing up. Hey Indy, I think I just fixed it. Yep, it works. Whew, that was an intriguing one, I must say. So, thank you very much for hanging in there, NGS Nick. And you know what? Let's test your suggestion either way. So you said I drag and yes, NGS Nick. It was hold B then click. So it was I'm holding B, oops, I'm holding B and now I'm clicking and adding branches. That's amazing. Shortcuts are amazing. I don't know yet what shortcuts I should learn first, the ones from Blender or the ones from Unreal, because both of them seem to greatly optimize my workflow. Now, one more thing. I made visible the time to show, so technically now on the signpost in the club live, I'm sorry I have to give credit where credit is due, but you are amazing. NGS Nick schooled me on blueprint logic and shortcuts, and let's make the time to show 6 seconds. This way we also test that it actually works. So again, yeah, it kinda works. I'm not that good with counting, but I did spell your name wrong. So let's see it again. I did spell your name wrong. So 4, 6. Yep, it works. The delay works. Ha! Ha! This was the problem. How come? I think I pressed... Dude, I place props, I do other stuff. So this is a problem. I can still get one space out Yeah, I found the bug. So I go in, I go out, and I can still press space. Okay. So this is the bug. One more bug, guys. It's not over until we fix everything. Player presses space. Because I'm not disabling the input when I go out. Player exits trigger area, enable input. Okay, this is easy. Just have to put it here. I remember there's a level designer here watching that did say disable the input. And I did disable it, but wrongfully using the boolean where I wasn't supposed to, and now I'm disabling it properly. So one more time, basic functionality works. I have press space to read signpost again, but I exit, press space, nothing happens. I go back in, press space, keep on pressing space when I go out. Nothing happens. Nice, we got it. We eventually got it. What a night, what a night. As usual, what we should do now with everything we committed, we created and stuff is git commit, and let's say added sign post multiple meshes with Blender. Actually, let's describe a bit. Signpost actor, multiple meshes with Blender, rock, no, let's call it medium rock, FBX. What else did we add? Signpost, FBX. What else did we do? Did we do something else? Plank test. So this way we know what they are. Version everything. So we're basically also adding files. Plank test. Okay. You know what? This one, which was a test from last night, I don't want. This one I don't want. Ah, the campfire. Whew. SM campfire, and created material instances. Several material instances for the campfire, and commit and push. We are committing everything to our lovely GitHub repository. Thank you everyone for the patience, for hanging in. Thanks for the Blender tips. You made my life easier transitioning from 3D Studio Max to Blender. Thank you NGS Nick for suggesting shortcuts in Unreal Blueprint. I will definitely start using those and start learning those as well. Probably I will print a cheat sheet and put it on my table. And do not remember, folks, please subscribe, follow, punch any kind of button that notifies you when I go online again, because tomorrow I won't announce this on social media, etc., except my Twitter and Facebook and the Level and Maps Facebook. We will be playing Murderous Pursuits, a game which Indie Club Life built in his spare time, aside from being a full-blown professional level designer during daytime. If I'm not mistaken, it might be made with Unreal Engine. And after we play Murderous Pursuits for about an hour or two, we will also look at my first ever works in 3D. I also have a disclaimer to make. I deliberately, purposely, I premeditated this. So Indie Club Live, thank you so much for sharing a key, but on purpose, I did not document anything about the game. So I didn't even read the Steam description. I didn't do nothing, didn't watch any YouTube videos. I didn't watch you streaming Murderous Pursuits on purpose, just to have the freshest experience ever. For all I care, I don't know what Murderous Pursuits is about. I do hope it's a cool game and we'll all enjoy it. I will be playing it as a level designer / game designer, not necessarily to critique, but to find the strong points. Oh, it's done while Indie Club Live was working at Blazing Griffin, and it's made in Unity. Okay, my bad, my bad. You did say earlier in the chat that you worked in Unreal for some personal projects. I thought this was one of them. Tomorrow, join me at 7 o'clock p.m. Central European Time. Actually, you know what? I can show you at what hour I will do. I have an international kind of thing. I'll just put it here on screen. So live stream calendar, I'll share it in the chat as well. This is the live stream calendar. So the live stream calendar, folks, it's Tuesday, Thursday, Saturdays and Sunday at 7 p.m. Central Eastern European Time, 10 a.m. Pacific Daytime, 10:30 p.m. India time. So, thank you very much. See you soon. Bye-bye.